Hey, what's up? This is Jason Drone. Welcome to today's episode of GSD Daily. This is Create number 126. And we're going to talk about continuity clients. So this entire week is going to be continuity clients. We're going to talk through creating offers, automating the process, scaling continuity clients and going from there. So, and it's also a holiday. So happy Labor Day. Which I shouldn't be doing this, but it's Monday, and I've been doing this Monday through Friday forever. So, we're just more the same, right? So, continuity clients is something that we have been implementing for a lot of clients recently, or a lot of businesses, because more and more of what's going on in the world is, business models are structuring around membership. And it's smart, so from a statistical standpoint, the average subscription vendor, so that might be a membership site, it might be a software offer, like a SaaS offer, it might be a coach or a consultant. The average subscription vendor is growing 30 to 50% annually. So they're not 50% annually. I mean, if you're going from $100,000 to $150,000 in revenue a year, or $1 million to $1.5 million a year in revenue by adding a subscription or by adding a membership site, it's a really, really, really big deal. And there's lots and lots of ways to do it. So if you look at from a just kind of like a business landscape standpoint, there's a guy by the name of Stu McLaren, and had to be 10 years ago. Stu McLaren introduced a piece of software called Wishlist Member. Now, Wishlist Member is a WordPress plugin that we still use for all of our membership sites, for a lot of our client membership sites. Wishlist Member was the first real big piece of software that made kind of an impact on WordPress sites. Before, you needed like this weird mix of using a member plus Moodle was the education platform, and then there was like 3 or 4 different other kind of pieces of software that you meshed together, and then it created this membership. Stu McLaren came along and his partners created this WordPress plugin that was just kind of what you dropped it in, you added your members, you protected your pages, and that was it. So, and they've had hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of thousands of people who have built membership sites from Wishlist Member. Well, Stu McLaren went to create a training platform called Tribe. And Tribe is it's an education platform for creating membership sites. They have a very interesting model. So they basically launch twice a month or twice a year. They do a big multi-video launch in like a webinar, and then they open it up for a couple weeks at a time and just jam a bunch of members through. So it's a really, really interesting model. And their memberships are typically $1,000, $2,000 a year. Every membership has its own pricing, but by and large, you have these like a Stu McLaren model, a Tribe model that is being added to business models all around the world. It might be a coaching business that adds, a subscription website. It might be an author who adds a membership for some continuity. It might be a software offer that gives some accountability to its members through a Facebook group that they pay for. So there's a lot of different ways subscription can work, continuity can work in your business. Now, the first thing you really need to think about in creating this continuity offer is, what are you going to sell? And I think it's probably important to start with figuring out what you have. So if you know what you have, like you might have a book, and you're like, I sell a bunch of this book, and I can put together a membership site that might be $49 a month or whatever, and I can put recordings of videos, or I can go through and outline chapter by chapter by chapter and create a little video course that is, this membership content. And maybe month 1 is chapter 1, and month 2 is chapter 2, and month 3 is chapter 3. So you can go through and just bullet out what are the different pieces of my book, and then you can map out what are some video content that I can pull out of based on that. And there you get a membership site. So if you're putting together an email list, you can sell this membership site to your email list or whatever. Another way of thinking about continuity is, let's say you have a digital product and you're like, well, some people, they're sending in emails and support requests and asking, how can they get more me? So another great way of adding continuity to your business is by offering consulting or by offering coaching. And that's very one-on-one, so that's you're charging, X amount of money for access to you twice a month or once a week or once a month, however much time you want to be accountable to your clients. Maybe it is 100% scheduled, so it's every other week you jump on a coaching call with them. Maybe it is only when they need you, so they send you a text and say, hey, I need you. Let's jump on in the next couple of days. Okay, cool. So what is the fee associated with that? Some of our clients will charge $1,000 a month. Other ones will charge $2,500 a month. Some of them will charge $5,000 a month. It really just depends on the transformative impact that they have. So the coaching clients, in creating the offer that best fits your clients, best fits the people who are coming to you, it's really just about figuring out what kind of value you provide, how much is that worth to them. If it's a business development, coaching, let's say, or a business consulting, then that could be worth $5,000 or $10,000 a month. If it is life coaching, maybe it's $1,000 a month or $500 a month. If it's health and fitness coaching, maybe it's $500 a month or $200 a month. It really just depends on what impact you're having in their life, how accountable they are to you. If it's 100% one-on-one weekly calls, you can't charge $200 for that, because if you have 10 or 15 or 20 clients, you are literally maxed out, and you're not making any money for it. So you are on the phone 100, all the time with your clients round the clock. However, if it's $1,000 a month or $2,000 or $5,000 a month, you can have 2 clients or 3 clients or 4 clients, and you can be at their beck and call whenever you want. So there's a lot of different ways to kind of cut it up. Now, one thing I've talked about in a previous live stream was this idea of assisted coaching or assisted consulting. So that's where you have a product as a baseline for your coaching, and then you coach on top of it. So they go through this weekly or monthly, course where they watch some videos, they download some reports, all that stuff, and they learn about what they want to learn about. They learn about the thing you teach, and they're able to put it into practice in their life. Then you provide the coaching or consulting element to it. So they can ask you questions, they can be accountable to you, but you don't necessarily need to teach them the whole thing right off the bat. So it's assisted coaching or assisted consulting. So it's another nice offer that helps with that continuity play. So those are just some ways to throw a continuity aspect into your business. Now, there's something I think of whenever I think of any kind of transformation or any kind of, because really when somebody buys continuity, they're buying the transformation, and they understand that the transformation isn't going to take place right now, all in one shot. They're buying a subscription. They're buying, a block of time with you generally. So there's a story it's not really a story, but back in my Pepsi days, so we used to, every Sunday morning, so today's Monday, but every Sunday morning we'd have to build these huge displays. So, whenever you're walking out into the vestibule of a grocery store, you see the big Pepsi displays that is the Super Bowl display or whatever. So every Sunday morning we go in 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning, and we start, wheel our pallets of pop out into the lobby, and we start ripping apart whatever was there and start building something back up. And as you're putting together this big Super Bowl design, with a goalpost in it, or some words or whatever in it, it looks like complete shit. You got pop everywhere, you got stacks of everything everywhere. But then a couple hours later, you can step back from it after having lifted about 18 tons of pop and putting it where it needs to go. You can step back and say, that is a football display. And then you clean up all your stuff and you wheel it to the back room. So, but what I mean is, whenever you're going into through any kind of transformation, any kind of journey, the beginning is always going to be messy. So understanding that in coaching and teaching that and addressing that in the first couple modules of your course is going to make all the difference between, setting the stage for that transformation and not. So it's just something you want to think about when working through this continuity relationship with your clients. And if you have any questions at all, just go to doneforyou.com. There's a little chat box in the lower right-hand corner. You can schedule a call with us, and we'll talk to you soon. All right. Thanks.